Hi everyone, I'm Ellie from Ellie's Exotics, and today we are going to be doing a reptile room tour. So in the previous video, I said that this room was going to look a whole lot different soon because I'm moving. Well, as life goes, things have changed, and that will probably be put off until next year. But this reptile room has actually changed significantly. It looks a whole lot different from the last video, so I thought I would remake my reptile room tour and show you exactly what I have going on in this room now. Because I did actually go back to work recently. I work as an animal educator, so I have taken on about 7 new species, and that's because I go to schools, care homes, nurseries with the animals, and to make sure that they aren't being overworked, they're not going out every single day, we have multiple species that we can alternate between. So let's get right into the video. Okay, so we are off the tripod now and entering the reptile room. But this is also my bedroom, so I don't want to show too much. I want to keep my privacy in that aspect. But I'm going to show you what is in my bedroom because I do actually have one enclosure in there, so let's check that out first. So this is my snail enclosure, and obviously it's not looking too pretty right now. It's doing its job, it's feeding the snails, it's keeping them nice and healthy, but I do want to give them something a little bit better, like maybe an exoterra. Honestly, it's not even really for them because this setup is fine for them. It's more for me because I think this kind of looks ugly. You know, it's an old fish tank. I got this for free when the snails were given to me. So yeah, I just want something a little bit different. But now we can enter the actual reptile room, which is just here. Now, this wall is all brand new, so I think we should start off with that. So let's start off up the top here. In this enclosure, we have my Brachypelma hamori. Let's see if I can try and find her. You can see her inside of there. I have recently redone all my tarantula enclosures, so I don't want to get them out and stress them out, so I'm just going to leave them be inside of these enclosures. But she has a bigger enclosure now. Like I said in my feeding video, I did want to upgrade all of my tarantulas, so she has been upgraded. And then down here we have my Grammostola pulchripes. She is about to molt, so her abdomen is looking very large, but she is growing so well, and she's easily becoming one of my favorite tarantulas. Her name is Pikachu, and I can't remember if I said what her name was, but her name is Ophelia. And then in here we have my Asian forest scorpion. Let me bring this one down because this box is quite old. This is one of the animals that was given to me by my work, so let me bring this down and I'll show you him a little bit better. So here he is. This is Anakin, and he is my Asian forest scorpion. I say he, but honestly, I am unsure of what sex he actually is. But he is huge and also incredibly feisty. I have had these guys before, and honestly, I have never had one so sassy in my life. He is ready to sting at any moment. But now let's pop his lid back on and we can meet the next animal. So I have brought this next one down because she was in a bit of an awkward spot to film. But this is Morticia, and Morticia is my Brachypelma smithy. Isn't she gorgeous? I absolutely love Morticia, and she has also had an upgrade as well. This is her new enclosure. Her abdomen is looking extremely bold, and she has stopped eating, so I am guessing that she is going to molt soon as well. If you've been following for a while, then you will know that all of my tarantulas like to molt at the exact same time. So yeah, feeding videos can be definitely difficult when none of them want to eat because they're in pre-molt. But let's put her lid back on and pop her away. So the next animal is Goody, and she is my carabina versicolor. So she is just in here, and I don't know if you can see this white thing. That is actually an egg sac. So she has made an egg sac for some reason. She has never been mated. or bred with any other tarantula, but I'm guessing she's just in like her motherhood era and wants to try, but there's nothing going to be coming out of that egg sac, unfortunately. I will insert some footage of her because she is deep in her web and I don't want to disturb her. You know, she's protecting her non-existent babies right now. But if we come down here, we have the next shelf, and this is the last tarantula. This tarantula here, he is teeny tiny. Let me see if I can get this lid off. But this is my Grammostola pulchra, and she is also about to molt as well. You can see how bold and shiny her abdomen is, but she doesn't have a name yet. So if anyone has any name suggestions, then let me know down below. I do really like Addams Family names, and I have had a Wednesday before, so maybe I called this one Wednesday. My curly hair Wednesday had to go back to my job. She had to go to another ranger, so yeah, maybe I call this one Wednesday. Let me know down below. Okay, and then in this box here, you can see we have my giant African train millipedes. Also, guys, it is fruit fly central at the moment because we are coming up on summer, so you might see a ton of fruit flies. But this is my giant African millipede. I do only have one at the moment. I was only given one, so I'm waiting on the other two to arrive because these guys are actually social animals. They like to be with other millipedes, which I find crazy. How super cool is that? But this one seems to be a little bit shy and doesn't want to come out right now. But I love millipedes. Millipedes are amazing animals and they are such good first-time pets for people. They are definitely going to be easier than your hamsters or even just a reptile. These guys, this is their setup. They have lots and lots of substrate, and then they also have some rotting wood and some rotting leaves that they can feed on, and then I spray them once a day. But how cool is this little guy? All right, so I'm going to pop him back in here and pop his lid on, and we can meet the next animal. Okay, so next we have my giant African hissing cockroaches. These guys are in here. There is also a dubia roach running around somewhere, but here they are. Come here. So they are all called Calvin, and Madagascan hissing cockroaches are just the coolest animals ever. These guys have two brains, so they've got one in their head and one in their stomach, and they can actually survive being set on fire. They can survive being frozen, and they are one of the fastest insects in the world as well. But how cool are Calvin the cockroaches? These guys are another really good first pet for someone. You give them some nice fresh fruits and veg. I also have some cress growing in there at the moment. You give them a spray every now and then and they will continue to populate if you have males and females. So that one was a female. Let me see, have I got a male? Yeah, so this one here is a male. I find the males tend to be a little bit hissier, but you can see that he's got those horns there. That's how you know that they are a boy. So I will pop him away and let's meet the next animal. So the next animal is actually my stick insects. I only have 2 babies at the moment, so I have no idea how I am going to find these guys. They are in here somewhere. I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to find them. They are literally like this big. I am trying to grow them out and I am actually waiting for my job to send me some adults, but they're in here somewhere and they are actually Sungaean stick insects. So they are pretty cool. I'll insert a photo on the screen of what they look like when they're adults. I promise there are 2 in here. I just don't know how I'm going to be able to find them. And then moving over this way, this is my baby crested gecko enclosure. So let's see if we can find him. He is usually in the same spot. There he is. So that is Cheese, and Cheese is my baby crested gecko. His face is actually only half fired up right now. How cool is that? But he's doing really, really well. He had a bit of an issue with eating when I first got him. He wasn't great at eating, but now he is cleaning bowls. I've realized that his favorite is the fig and insect. So he's been getting that a lot more often and he is definitely putting some size on him now. But isn't he just adorable? I love little Cheese. This is Cheese's current enclosure. Obviously it is nothing special. He's just got lots of clutter and he is on paper towels and that's because I was just waiting for him to get a little bit bigger. Once he hits about 10 grams, because he is only 6 at the moment, he will be put in a bioactive setup, and then once he hits about 20 grams, he will be upgraded from this to most likely a 45 by 45 by 90 enclosure, one that is similar to my Gargoyle Gecko, which we're going to be looking at next. Okay, so moving down here, this is my Gargoyle Gecko enclosure. Now, I have no idea where Honey is going to be. She has a few favorite hiding spots. Okay, so she's most likely behind this cork bark piece here, and I can't fit my camera in there, so I will insert some footage on the screen of her. But this is her enclosure. It's fully bioactive. She's got UVB, she's got overhead heating, and this enclosure is doing really, really well. As you can see, there's a whole lot of new growth on here at the moment, and she loves hiding within all of this foliage. This is definitely a perfect setup for Honey, who tends to be a little bit shyer than most geckos. I feel like Cresties are a little bit braver than gargoyles, but yeah, she is in here somewhere. I promise. I have a Gargoyle Gecko somewhere, but she is absolutely stunning. She makes an amazing animal ambassador. The kids absolutely love her, and she is so good at handling. But right now, I'm not gonna bother her. I will do a meet all my pets video eventually, where I get them all like physically out and you can see them and I'll handle them and things like that. But yeah, she's in there somewhere and I'll leave her alone. Okay, and moving over from here to here, ignore this is the setup. Okay, this is my recording setup. I've got my new microphone and I also have my tripod there, so ignore this random chair in the middle of the room. But moving over here, this is my White's tree frog enclosure. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna wet my hands quickly, and I am gonna grab one. Here is one of them. So this is Ponyo, and Ponyo is one of my White's tree frogs. I have 2 of them. My other one is called Grogu, and I'll see if I can find him. I'm just concerned that she is going to jump on my face. But there she is. Isn't she just stunning? I love White's tree frogs. These guys make such good pets for people, but they are definitely more of a hands-off animal. So you saw me handling her just then. I never hold them for more than a few seconds. I always make sure that my hands are wet so that my oils on my hands are diluted, and I am gonna go and change this water bowl out in case anything from my hands gets into their soaking spot. I've just tried to look for Grogu, and he is deep in that snake plant at the back, so I'm just gonna leave him alone. I've also changed out their water, but this is also fully bioactive. They have UVB, they have their overhead heating. If I could change anything about it, I would definitely give them a bigger enclosure. I would love to give them something that is maybe 90 tall. This is 45 by 45, but these are one of my work animals, which means that I can change the setup if I want to, but I would have to invest my own money into them, which I will definitely do so in the future. You know, I want to give these guys the absolute best. I would love to give them a really lovely background, something just like Honey's enclosure, but hers will be changing soon as well. I don't like this wooden vivarium. I want to switch them all over to glass, and I'll probably go with the Pro Rep enclosures. But moving on over this way, I have just noticed that someone has left a little present for me. I don't know if you can see that at the back, but that is actually a shed. So I was gonna say, oh, you know, we probably won't see Chai. She's in shed at the moment, but she must have shed whilst I was getting ready to film this video, because look at her now. Look how beautiful she looks. So Chai is my Dumerils boa. She is my brand new boa, and she is just gorgeous. She is absolutely lovely, and she is doing brilliantly. She's taking food like a boa does, and she is steadily growing and enjoying her gorgeous enclosure. So let's talk about Chai's enclosure. Now, this enclosure, if you've been following for a while, you will know was set up for my royal python. So royal pythons like it a lot more humid than Dumerils boas do. So as you can see, the plants are not doing very well because of the lack of humidity and watering. Yeah, they're not doing great. So I will be revamping this enclosure eventually so that it suits her humidity requirements a little bit better. But Chai also has her basking bulb. She has a ceramic heat emitter for nighttime. She has a Jungle Dawn LED, and she also has a 7% shade dweller at the top there too. So her enclosure is all kitted out. It's just that the plants aren't doing great. So that's Chai's enclosure. Let's move on up. Over here, we have Marmite, my Kenyan Sand Boa's enclosure, and unfortunately his UVB bulb decided to blow this morning. He will get a brand new one very soon. I have ordered one, but this is his enclosure. As you can see, it's fully decked out, so much clutter. Kenyan Sand Boas can be very shy coming to the surface to eat, but with all of this clutter, he's coming up way more. He's exploring more. He is definitely thriving and showing lots of natural behaviors. I have a video all about Kenyan Sand Boas on my channel, so go and check that out if you would like to hear more about their care. I'll put some footage of Marmite on the screen so you can see him. I'm not going to dig him up just for the sake of the video, because sometimes when I do dig him up, he decides to stop eating. He does get a bit stressed by handling sometimes, so I'm just going to leave him alone. But this is his enclosure. It's 45 by 45 by 30, so it's not very tall. And once he's a little bit bigger, because he's literally only like this long at the moment, he will be getting an upgrade. He will probably go in a 60 long instead. And then moving over this way, we have another slightly new addition. I guess he's kind of new, and this is Toast, my Mexican Black Kingsnake. Now let me see if I can find him. There he is. There's Toast, my teeny tiny boy. You know what? I might get him out to show you him a little bit better, because it is his handling session day today. Okay, so here is Toast. He's giving you all kisses at the moment, and he is actually my partner's Mexican Black Kingsnake. So he technically isn't mine, but obviously I look after him. I am the reptile lady after all. But as you can see, he is an absolute dream to handle. We work super hard with him because Mexican Black Kingsnakes can actually be a little bit feisty, especially as babies. So we're working super hard with him to make sure that he stays nice and handleable for my partner. But how adorable is he? Oh, he's giving you all a kiss. Oh, everyone has to kiss him back. He has definitely grown since we've gotten him. He has had 2 sheds with us, I believe now, and we got him back in January. I cannot wait to get him into his big boy enclosure when he's a little bit bigger, because I have some great ideas for a bioactive enclosure for him. He is currently still in quarantine just because he had a little issue around his face. Unfortunately, he got his face stuck in a little hide at one point when we first brought him home, so he did have some damaged scales. So we decided to keep him in quarantine for a little bit longer just to make sure that he is nice and healthy and that he'll do well. And his bioactive enclosure will be coming up very soon, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that. I have a lot of exciting builds coming soon, like the Mexican Black Kingsnake, like the Crested Gecko. So many exciting plans are happening, so make sure you stick around for that. But how cute is this little guy? Oh, he's so tiny and small. Right, I'm gonna pop him away and let's meet the next animal. So now we are moving over from here down to this enclosure. And in here lives my baby, my pride and joy, my Woma Python. Let me see where Bicky is and I'll try and get some good footage of him. Here is Bicky, he is my Woma Python, and he is absolutely gorgeous. I know we're not supposed to have favorites, but he's my favorite. I just have fell in love with Woma Pythons as a species and the Aspidites genus, like in general. I love these guys for first-time snake owners, and I know that so many people might not agree with me, but they are a snake that you have to work with, and I love a species that you have to work with, but I like a snake that gives me a little bit more of a challenge, something that I can build a relationship with, and a Woma Python is definitely the species for you if that is something that you are wanting. I've worked so hard with him, and he is just so lovely. So yeah, highly recommend Woma Pythons. But this is his enclosure. I think that his enclosure is definitely one of my favorites. Not because he is just a cheeky little boy who is so interested in what I'm doing right now, but I think it really suits, you know, his habitat, how he would be living in the wild. I mean, these plants I didn't see in Australia. They are not Australian plant species, but they've been working with his enclosure brilliantly, and I love his background as well. I think it is the best background I've done out of these 3 big enclosures. So yeah, I just love how his enclosure looks, and he is loving it as well. But let's now move up to the next enclosure. So this enclosure here, which is a 4x2x2, just like Bicky's, and Chai's is a 4x3x2. This one here is my corn snake enclosure. So Kiki is just at the back there. I don't know where her head is. And I am pleased to say that finally, after trying so hard with her enclosures, that I have found plants that suit her humidity requirements. I know, can I get a round of applause, please? Because this is the 3rd setup that I have done with her. These plants are finally growing and doing well. And I had an issue with the soil going super hydrophobic. It was just resisting all water possible, but I seem to have fixed it finally, and this enclosure is finally doing well and looking okay. So there is Miss Kiki poking her little head out. So Kiki was actually a work animal when I first got her about 2 years ago. But when I left the company originally, before I decided to come back, we both decided that she would actually stay with me permanently. So she wasn't originally mine, but I bonded with Kiki, and she is not an easy snake, I don't think. Getting her out of the enclosure can be a little bit of a nightmare, and we both kind of decided that, you know, she can't really go to a new snake keeper. She kind of needs to be with someone who knows snake's body language and stuff like that, because Kiki is very food motivated coming out of the enclosure. She thinks everything is food, and she is obsessed, and she definitely does bluff strike and hiss and stuff like that sometimes. So I decided to keep her, and she's doing really well. Okay, and now moving up from this enclosure, in here we have Big Mac. So Big Mac is my Pacman Frog, and he is in a really awkward position at the moment. He is just back there behind this log. You can see his little face poking out. But yeah, Big Mac is my Pacman Frog. I absolutely adore him. He is such a character, and his enclosure is doing really well as well. I actually made a video of me setting this up. That's on my page if you would like to watch that. And he moved from a 45x45 into this enclosure here, which is 45x60x30 tall. Now, if Big Mac turns out to be a female, which I kind of think he is, I know I keep saying he, but I'm just used to saying that, then he will be getting a 45x90 eventually. So something even bigger, because he definitely does utilize all of the space, just at nighttime. He doesn't do it during the day when everyone is awake. But I definitely know that he's moving around, because you can see Big Mac prints all over the glass. But his heating and lighting is the same as the others. He's got a jungle dawn, he's got UVB, and he also has overhead heating too. Okay, and moving over this way, we have my jumping spiders. So this is Tapioca. I actually got her in my second ever YouTube video. I picked her up then, and she has gotten so much bigger since I picked her up. She is definitely due for a molt. She molted a couple months ago whilst I was traveling, and she left behind one of her tiny hats. It was very cute. But yeah, she's definitely ready to molt again. She is a huge lady at the moment. Look at the size of that abdomen. And then in this enclosure here, we have my baby Boba. Look at him, he is so cute. So Boba is my elderly jumping spider. He is definitely getting on a little bit now. I'm seeing tendencies like hanging out on the ground a lot more that show that he is aging. I mean, he is kind of already past his lifespan, I believe. He is definitely an old male spood, because with jumping spiders, the males tend to not live as long. So yeah, he's an old boy, but he's doing well. I also set up these enclosures on my YouTube channel, so if you'd like to see a full deep dive of them, then go and check that video out. But I love jumping spiders. I highly, highly recommend them to people. They have so much personality and so much character, and I will definitely be getting more in the future. I really want a widow jumping spider, the one with like the red stripe on their back. They are super duper cool. Okay, and that is everything for today, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you comment down below which animal was your favorite, and I will see you all later. Bye-bye.